Innovative content. Global audience.
Yes, people. Daddy Chris is here again. And guess what? Tonight is a very, very interesting night. Anytime you are with the obedient people, you know what it means. It's one of those nights. And tonight. Hey, ready, brace up, take it easy. We are in the presence of greatness. Tonight, like I will always promise, I'll be bringing you the best of the best in the political scene in Nigeria. On tonight's show, we are privileged to have in our midst. Uh, I'm going to leave him to introduce himself, but I can call the name because he's an honorable man. He is Olorogun. Write it down. Shodo Ochoko Areki. You'll see. I'll bring it out. Now he is quite an interesting person, occupying a very big position. What I have decided to do is bring those in the diaspora into the debate, because sometimes I expect them to give me a better perspective, a more understanding of the challenges, because they've been here. So he lives here in UK. He's right here with us, and he's going to be able to tell us why we should work for Peter Obi. That's all we're going to be asking him tonight. We'll be holding him responsible for that. Without further ado, let me bring him on board so that we get to see this handsome man first. Let me give him on. Olorogun, you are welcome to this beautiful evening. We are happy to have you in our midst.
Thank you very much, Daddy Chris.
Yes. In fact, just in case of those people who doesn't know you, I would say, can you please kindly introduce yourself in the best way you can and the office you currently occupy in the obedient movement?
Thank you very much, Daddy Chris.
Yes,
my name is, I said earlier, my name is Olorogun Theodore Ochoko Areki. Olorogun means chief in Urobo land.
Yes.
I'm the head of secretariat of the National Coordinating Council of Obedient Movement. I'm also an executive of POSN, Peter Obi Support Network in the UK. I work in so many capacities. I'm in the big tent, which is the big umbrella for Peter Obi.
Yes.
I'm also doing so many digital and technological work in the background for this movement. I'm a project manager and I live in the UK.
Wonderful, because that's why I wanted to know, who are you? Well, let's know who is Todo Areki before this whole thing, because I know Peter is trying to bring in the best, picking up the right brains to run his campaign and perhaps his government.
Yes, first of all, I'm obedient. And I can tell you that obedience means a new thing in Nigeria. It means the word as it is. You know, there's been so many disobedience going on in Nigeria. People take the laws into their hands. They do what they like. And I am glad God has used this man to have for us what we should be doing. We should learn to be obedient to our society, to our communities, to our friends, to our brothers and sisters, to our neighbors. And we can therefore have peace within ourselves and within the community in general.
Quite interesting, because to be honest, everybody of our age will be able to tell that this is a new time in the history of Nigeria. A time where something we've never seen before. It's like there's a new hope, a new beginning. Well, I'm not here to decide for Nigerians, they're going to decide. I'm going to ask you one straight question straight away. Obedience. What does it mean? In fact, to those of us now, because somebody came on this show and he compares obedient movement to what happened with Barack Obama. Barack Obama was expected, it was a big news, hey, black man going to become president, he's going to change. But things have not really changed after 8 years. What changes should we be expecting from obedient movement?
Quite frankly, this movement is different, is completely different from the one you just alleged to, which is the Obama one in America.
Yes.
The reason it is different, I can tell you that we draw analogy from the Bible, from the days of Egypt, where one man alone called Moses,
Yes.
he woke up one morning and said, look, the children of Israel have suffered too much in this land. I'm taking them out of this land.
Yes.
And God gave him a crown. And with that crown, he was able to move the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Now, there was a promised land that God told him. He didn't get to the promised land. So if this analogy fits Peter Obi,
Yes.
I can tell you now that Peter Obi is actually wearing that crown of taking Nigeria out of Egypt, from the pharaohs of Nigeria,
Yes.
into on our way through that trajectory to
Yes.
a promised land. He will not get us there, because governance is a continuum. It's not what you can measure. It's a process. So when you come in, you do your bit in that process, and then you go. However, the people who have come before have taken us the other way around. They've taken us backward. Now here is a man whose blood runs in all of our blood, all of our body. I can tell you that. Even if you are not obedient, the day you turn on your WhatsApp and you see Peter Obi, his blood naturally runs. You are just inquisitive. You just want to know, what this obedience, this movement is all about.
Yes. And I think it's quite interesting. It's really, like I said, it's an amazing time in our history, a new beginning. However, I have some little fear. One of my biggest fear is this. Assuming this movement is real, and I definitely feel Peter, fact. But the question is, what are the chances of him defeating the Goliath? You see, there are two giants here. We have the PDP, we have the APC. These guys are not only political gurus, they have the money. And you are coming, Obedient is coming on the slogan that Chichi, they don't spend. How realistic are you guys being dealing with Nigerians, knowing that how much we love money? In fact, the Bible said it all. I'm happy you made reference to the Bible, that money answereth all things. Considering where Nigeria is right now, people are hungry. How can somebody who get 30,000 naira, an old woman who have not seen money before, you give her 30,000 naira to vote for me? When would she vote for you? Because that 30,000 naira may actually start her a small business. When would she do that? I mean, for those of us in the UK, I can understand. But you guys are going on the slogan that no money will be spent, no money to be spent. How can you defeat these people with no cash?
Well, first of all, when you started asking me this question, you made reference to an assumption.
Yes.
And I can tell you that in this movement, we don't assume, because we do know that anything we assume, we have ignored.
Okay.
We are not assuming Peter Obi will not or will. There's no will not or will. That's an assumption. Yeah. We know that Peter Obi is the next president of Nigeria. Whether we give shishi or we don't give shishi, it's irrelevant to the suffering that Nigerians have gone through all these years. Nigerians now know that the shishi they were getting from the previous people didn't do anything for them. So they are now willing to try the one that does not give shishi. But can I just correct?
I agree with you.
Can I just correct?
Before I let you finish,
yeah.
before I let you finish this is very important, my brother. Because you're saying that the non-shishi, but you have to consider the population. This is a country where 20 million are uneducated. They are out of school children, 20 million.
Yes.
And they are where? In the northern part of the country, where they cannot actually go on the internet to understand what we're talking about, because there's citizen journalism in Nigeria, but it's happening. But from a particular set of the country, the other part of the country, you must, if you bring in that understanding, are you sure we're doing the right thing? Maybe if I am, you assume that I shouldn't assume, because from my position here, I keep assuming because he has not won yet. When
no, you can assume. You are very
Yes.
you are privileged to assume, but we don't assume.
I agree. I
Yes,
have
we
that
work,
is understandable.
and as a project manager, I can tell you that anything you assume in your project, you have ignored, and that thing will come to bite you. It's like when
Amen.
people say the devil is in the detail.
Yes.
The detail we're talking about is when you design a project and you don't drill down into the very, very fragments of the project, then you have
Yes.
ignored those bits, and those bits is where the devil lives. And that's why people say, the devil is
Yeah.
in the details. If you ignore
Yes.
the details will come and bite. We are not assuming in this. Nigerians are practically overwhelmed with suffering. Today,
Agree.
the naira is £1 to nearly 1,000 naira. That is madness.
True.
I can't find a word for that. That's to tell you how degenerated our society has gone, how degrading, how downtrodden we have been. And here is a man you and I know as Peter Obi. This is a man that God has given him the crown, that crown that Moses wore. He's aware of it. We have told him, people have said it, and
Yes.
people will hear it again from me, that Peter Obi is wearing the crown of Moses to take Nigerians out of that Egypt, the Egypt of suffering, the Egypt of banditry, the Egypt of insurgency, the Egypt of you go to work and you don't get paid. You know, so we don't
So,
assume anything we
yes.
do. We
Yeah.
drill down to the details. And in answer to your question about giving that 20 million people who are illiterate money,
Yes.
we will do that. We will give them money,
Good.
but they will deserve the money we give to them.
Good.
And the money we give to them is not a bribe. It's just to encourage them. I can tell you that some people are saying, I can't go to vote.
Yes.
I'm a student, and we have not
Yes.
been given holidays. We know that the voting is on Saturday. We need small money to transport ourselves to
Oh,
home.
yes.
Such people will give them money. And I'll
Good.
tell you what, when Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria, all of this will change. There is enough money in Nigeria for the government to give to political parties to carry out
Exactly.
their campaigns,
Yes.
rather than asking people, or rather than giving money to people for if they are campaigning. In the UK, where you and I are, I'm a Labour Party member in the UK. I give
Yeah.
money to Labour Party here. Labour Party does not give me money in any
Yes.
campaign.
Yes.
Their
Yes.
political office holders, when they come to campaign for me, they don't give me anything.
True.
Yes, so that
Yes.
is the kind of system we will encourage. Peter Obi knows it. Peter Obi lived in the UK for many years as well. So
Yes.
he's
Yes.
aware that when he becomes president of Nigeria, all of this will change. No more shishi. We shouldn't be giving shishi.
I agree.
It's encouraging politicians to go and steal money
I agree with you. I agree
or
completely.
borrow money,
Yes.
to run their campaigns. And when they win of course they will win when they give you a nice shishi. You
Exactly.
vote for them. And when they
Yes.
come in, guess what they'll do to us? Your guess
Yeah.
is as good as mine.
Yes, I agree. So, but let's. I want to section this interview to two parts, and that's what I made up my mind to do. First, the pre-election, and then when he becomes president. Let me use your word. I have to follow. I want to believe. I want to key into the faith.
Yes.
Because maybe deep inside me, I want Peter to be my president. But let's go. So let's say before the election. So I'm going to be very thorough in this. Like I said before, I've started by asking you that there are giants out there with
Yes.
what they call the political structure and the
Yes.
cash to win election. That is on one side.
Yeah.
We do know too that young people want a change. That give your people a better hand. But let's come to see this. There is massive insecurity. And number two, news is getting to us. It's filtering in that people cannot even collect their PVC in some part of the country, Lagos State in particular. When you have a PVC there, to get your PVC is a battle. In fact, there's a young girl that came on Facebook she put something on her blog, which I really like. He said, now if you want to go to collect, he said, go there, wear APC cap. Shout, hey, that's only where they give you your PVC, which is not the right thing to do. I don't know whether this is true because I'm going to question the APC guy who will join me on Saturday. So how are you people dealing with this reality? For me, I want to understand the plan on ground. I don't want to use the word structure. The plan on ground to win this election, knowing all this, because they cannot keep coming up with one thing or the other. Now, that of insecurity, people are scared to come out and collect PVC. They cannot even collect PVC. My child, they will not be intimidated to come out and vote. And if that is the case, what are you people doing about it?
Right. Let me take your second question first, and that is on security.
Yes.
Now, you and I do know that Nigeria's population is about 210 million today. We stand at about 210 million today.
Yeah.
And quite sincerely, 350,000 police officers is just a child's play.
Yes, compared to yes.
to manage 210 million people.
Agree.
There are places in Africa, Egypt, for instance, Egypt is about 20 million people, and their police force is 1 million people. So you are talking about 20 people to one police officer. Yes, that can easily be managed. For now, I know that we have a challenge with the security of people trying to pick up their voters card, people campaigning for their political parties, or people going to the polling units to try and vote. We do know that these are issues around it. Unfortunately, we are not in the police force to enforce any security. We can only cry. Like
yes.
The young girl you mentioned, that young girl cried to say that she had to wear APC face cap.
It was a good drama. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we it is not the right thing to do. We appreciate that it's the wrong thing to do. So I think my battery just came up telling me it's running low. Can I just plug my charger to it, please?
Yes, do that.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a chance to do that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're giving our guest, Olorogun Theodore Ochoko Areki, the coordinator of the obedient movement in the UK, in the diaspora in general. He has a lot of offices. You can read it out there. He's been with us tonight, and he's still with us to talk. He's talking us through what the obedience are doing, what they plan to do to win the election. That's still where we are. Then like I said, I'll split the interview into two. One part will be pre-election, and the other one is, should they win the election, what should we expect? So those are two things I will be working with him on tonight. He's right here back with us. Is it settled now, sir?
Yes, it is.
I know you were
about
talking.
that. Yes. So let's jump into the question. The second question is on PVC collection.
Yes, sir.
Now, I wonder why a nation will invest billions of naira in producing PVCs for their citizens, and they would not ensure that their citizens get these PVCs. What is the objective of keeping the PVCs so that they become useless after the election? It just breaks my heart, And in spite of all of this, I can tell you that Peter Obi will still win this election.
Wonderful.
Because what the system is doing is they are aggravating the suffering, the pains being felt by people, So I'm not worrying about the collection of the PVC. We are driving our people. Yes, we're using technology to get our people to pick up their PVCs. We are directing them, pointing them to where their PVCs are. So they go and pick it. They don't need to wear an APC, a PDP, or anything to take their voters card. It is their right, as a matter of fact.
Yes. The reason why I'm going to jump to the other part, but I'm going to put this first before I want to put this to you so that you understand my worries. Perhaps every reasonable person should have one or two concern about this. The president, the vice president, current vice president, said Yemi Osibanjo, in a broadcast, talking to students, I don't know who we were talking to, he was saying that this is very important, that only 3 Nigerians, the amount of money they looted out, and they're the same people coming back. There's somebody, a president in office, a vice president. The thing that come to me is, why didn't you stop them? He said they've been chasing them, looking around for it. I appreciate that there may be 1 or 2 moves in the country at the moment where they're testing Nigerians to change their notes so that whatever they hold our money will come back. But these are realities on the ground. They are disturbing. And from what you're telling me, you want me to have a faith that Peter will win without really telling me how we're going to defeat these monsters, if you agree to call them monsters, because that's what the young people call them. How do you defeat these kind of monsters if a vice sitting president is complaining about them? Because I don't know who Yemi Osibanjo was talking about. Only Yemi knows. If Yemi, I wanted to say Yemi, could you tell us who you're talking about? He wouldn't do that.
Daddy Chris, can I just jump in there?
Yes,
Earlier you said in the Bible, money doeth all things. But that's not true.
Okay.
You and I know that that's not true. Because if that were true, yes, Azikiwe will still be alive today. Tafawa Balewa will still be alive today. Yes. Chief Obafemi Awolowo will still be alive today. But unfortunately, there are things money cannot do. So all these people who are in the habit or whose nature it is to steal money from Nigeria are what they call idiots, or what the Greeks call idiots.
Yes.
Yes. These are people who will cheat. These are people, if they are in an exam condition, they will cheat. If they work in a government organization, they will take bribes and steal money. These are people, even though they are professors, they have done so much big education, they probably will eat a banana and just dump it on the road, and walk away without thinking of the effect of that on their neighbors. For instance, an idiot will pull his trousers and poo by the side of the road and find a paper, wipe their bum and walk away. That's an idiot. Your excreta, flies will pick it up, the air will pick it up, and it will be airborne. Innocent people will fall sick from it. So it's the same thing that these people who are stealing monies from Nigeria. Now, Osibanjo has his own share of the blame.
Yes.
As a government, you have to manage, monitor, check your workers. What are they doing? What have they done? So you are one step before they are able to steal. You don't wait until they steal before you start looking for them.
Okay.
These are the kind of things Peter Obi has. He knows how to do these things. And he has promised that he's going to use the best of the best in Nigeria. No more mediocrity.
Yes.
We are sick and tired of mediocrity in Nigeria. It's now going to be meritocracy.
Wonderful.
So the guys
I want to write that down.
Yes.
Meritocracy. If I'll put that down.
Yes.
It's a type of
meritocracy. I can tell you
that's
how Peter Obi has evolved over these years. While he was in London, he was one Nigerian who had a business. You can imagine in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 90s, a Nigerian will walk to a bank to pick up a card. They look at him and say, "What do you? Good afternoon, sir. How can I help you?" "Oh, I've come to pick up my credit card." "What's your name, please?" They will flip and say, "Sorry, there's no credit card for you." And then he walks away. Then the bank manager calls him and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Obi, your card is waiting for you." Peter Obi said, "I just came from the bank. They said no card for me." He said, "No, go back. Your card is there." So he went. The woman who was attending to him did not believe that a Nigerian of this man who came on the train, didn't come with a limousine, will have that kind of credit card, with so much money in it. You know,
So that's why they said, did he have it?
these are the qualities Peter Obi wants to bring on board to the table in Nigeria. You know,
Yes.
all this stealing. Look, when one man steals, millions of people die.
That's true.
They die from not going to school. They die
Yes.
from not being able to find a place for treatment because they don't go to the hospitals. There are no hospitals for them. They die from bad roads. They die from sanitation, from drinking, bad water, whatever you want to call it. So this is the thing I say we now because Peter Obi will not do it by himself. He's going to do it as a government.
Yes, of course.
These are the things. And guess what? It will be in the interest of that man who was planning to steal. When he's sick, he's not going to look for millions of naira to steal to take him to India or to take him to the UK. He doesn't.
Yes, we're gonna come to governance later. I'm seeing on this part of it first. Let's talk about women. But I want to bring the last one, because I know a lot of people that have questions. But let me bring the last one here. Nigeria. I'm talking reality here. We are divided with one religion, 2 tribes, and I was so angry. Perhaps I'm not in a position to be, where a pastor came out and said, if you vote against your faith, God will punish you. Which faith? And are you saying the God of the Muslims, they cannot vote for Peter? You see, things like that becomes really disturbing. That is on one side. Then, yesterday, even in an interview here, a young man was saying that, their problem is the problem from the northern part of Nigeria because they have more opportunities than them. But the people in the north, they are actually suffering more than those of us in the south. The 20 million out of school, they are actually more in the north than in the south. So when we go with this kind of narrative, how do you address this as a campaign? This is very important. I'm not saying it's an issue you need to, but you need to distance. Are you distancing yourself from this? How do you, because these dishonest pastors who are actually taking money from people are the same people coming out to tell me that my problem is the Muslim. And I ask them a question. You and I come from Delta State. Okowa is not a Muslim, yet he's ruining the state. Sorry to use that word. And to tell me that my problem is because the Northerner or the Muslim is the problem, in fact, I don't agree. And I cannot see Peter campaign actually distancing themselves enough from this.
No, I disagree with you a bit on that. On your final comment.
Okay.
Now, we are not about religion. We are not about tribe. Yes, these are values that are supposed to galvanize us together. Yes.
Good.
In civilized society in this world, you don't have those societies as a uni-religious society. It's a coalition of all religion, coalition of tribes. Yes. So there is, there's supposed to be an advantage in diversity.
Exactly.
Yes. So, but unfortunately, people politic religion in Nigeria, people politic tribe in Nigeria. I'm just grateful that we are all the same color. Otherwise, there would have political color.
It would be a problem. Yes, it's not a problem.
But I tell you what, we are in a transition. We're in a transition from religion to a unilateral, to allow everybody practice their own, as is in our constitution. Yes. Our constitution says people will be allowed to practice their own religion.
Yes.
Yes. The same thing with our tribes. Now, people politic tribe, and sometimes you find it hard to tell these people that they are wrong. But the Greek man also said there are 3 kinds of people: the idiots, the tribesmen, and the citizens. Yes. Peter Obi is in the business of getting at least 190 million Nigerians to be citizens. The data for idiots in Africa is 90% of Africans are idiots. And that is why Africa is where it is.
Yes.
You know, so if we in Nigeria, if we have somebody who wants to reduce that data,
Yes.
Peter Obi, I don't see why we should go against them.
No,
And
no. You see, this is my
we're
problem.
not really
I'm
worried.
gonna cut you there. You take you
We're
bring
not
me again.
worried. We're not worried about the Goliaths.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yes.
because again, if we draw analogy from the great books of this world, like the Bible is the greatest book on earth.
Yes, sure.
Took so many years to write these great books, the Quran, the Bible.
Yeah.
If we go and draw our inference from those books, you
Yeah.
will find a little boy called David.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
this giant came, and everybody said, "Oh, David is finished. He will
Then
eat
we
up."
finish. Yes.
And to their amazement, David slew Goliath. Yes,
True.
and I can tell you that that crown of Moses that Peter Obi is wearing today, yes, is a reflection of David that will slay Goliath. Yes,
Amen.
because the, Peter Obi was a long shot. What I mean by long shot was a guess. No, just try him. Let's just try him.
Exactly. I don't think they
Yes,
expected this.
yes.
Nobody would have expected this
No,
coming.
Peter Obi is the front runner today.
Agree.
And Peter Obi only signed a document to say I'm in Labour Party May 29, 2022,
Can you
less
imagine?
than 6 months, 7 months ago.
Ago.
Yes,
Let,
and
let,
he
let,
has,
let me, I know I want to go to governance, but I want to take you on what you said.
yes,
If it is true, now I want to make this brief. If it is true that 90% of Africans are idiots, so 90% of Nigerian voters, to be honest, I can tell you right away that we are all mere idiots. All right. How is this campaign? Don't forget, I'm still talking of trying to win this election. How is your campaign really talking to these people to move them out of, because you cannot when I'm a teacher, so they told us to start from known to unknown. You know these
yes,
people. So you
yes.
must
That's
talk to them, get
mathematics.
it in their level. Yes.
That's mathematics. You work from
Exactly.
what you know to get what you
So
don't know.
exactly.
Yes,
So why don't we go? How do you go to these people in their level and give them what they understand, so that you can little begin to teach them the good thing and move them from idiocracy to
idiocracy. Yes, yes.
to
Now you have to understand that when we say 90% of Africans are idiots, it's not in the true meaning of the word idiot.
okay.
It is a characteristics of human nature to not care about your neighbor.
Yes.
Yes, you can a guy can come to your house and rob you and kill you. The guy is an idiot.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, a professor buys banana, is coming out of lecture, he buys banana by the side, he peels the banana, eats the banana. As he's walking away, he throws the banana on the floor. The professor is an idiot.
He
So when we say people are idiot, doesn't mean that they cannot be talked to. They
Yes.
cannot be, you cannot make them see. They can also see, but
All right.
idiocracy means in the sense of the Greek are
Yeah.
the people who don't care about the development of their country.
I
Yes,
agree with you.
I'm
And
coming. It happened in Greek in many years ago. But look at Greek. Greek has turned around.
I
You know,
agree. Yes.
so the same thing can happen in our country, Nigeria. Peter Obi is a transition, by the way. People
Yes.
need to understand that what is happening to us is a transition. Yes, we are going to move from where we are and
So,
transit into glory.
amen.
Yes, because that's what the idiot wants. The idiot is also interested in good road, riding on good
Yes.
road. Yes,
Agreed.
the idiot is interested in having the latest devices and all the good things that come with life. So let's be mindful of the fact that when we say idiot, it's not
Yes.
just a fool. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But it's very important. I want to put this. Maybe you agree with me now or not, so that we can move to the governance.
Yes.
Nigerians, and let's move. I'm slowly transiting into governance now, right?
Yes.
Nigerians, like you rightly explained, when you don't care about your environment, then you are an idiot, because this is the truth.
True.
How can you steal money from a government you are a government, and your children are studying abroad, meaning the schools that are you in the country you govern are not good enough for your children. That is one, you're an idiot in my book.
Absolutely.
Number two, you are sick. They took you abroad for treatment. Our president is Buhari knows. I'm talking to him here now. You sent abroad. You came back. You could not even repair the hospitals in your country. You still going abroad for treatment. You're an idiot. So there's no two ways. There's no way of peppering it. Every Nigerians today we are running out, and you know the painful thing. They steal our money. Rather than spending the money there, they take it out. So we come and borrow the same money. Are we not idiots?
Yeah, well, you know, the way you have put it, I will agree 100% with you that we are actually idiots. However, yes,
Yeah.
what drives our idiocracy is the fact that we do not put our brains to use. Nigerians don't think. And I'll tell you why I say Nigerians don't think.
Okay.
In 2019, I took a statistics of people who came to who came abroad for treatment. Yes.
Yeah. Very
Now
interesting.
there were various ailments. Some were cancer treatment. Some were kidney problems. Some were heart problems. Some all sort of illnesses. Yes.
Yes.
And when I did a calculation, what each of them spent, yeah, they were spending at that time close to £50,000 for each treatment.
For each treatment.
Yes, these are people who come from Nigeria. I did a survey of 15 people at that time who came to the UK and India, and they spent an average of £50,000 at that time. So if you multiply, let us just multiply 50, yes,
1,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
50,000 by 10.
Yes.
That's how much. That is £500,000. Yes,
Yes.
plus another 5% of that. You
Yes.
get the number. Now that amount at that time was enough to build a specialist hospital in Nigeria where all of these people can go for treatment and pay nothing. So the problem we have in Nigeria is that people don't think. This is the problem. You know, I tell you, when the white man said, if you don't want if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. He will not see it.
They won't read it.
Yeah, people don't read. In social media, I tell you what they read. You know, those who are in the social media, if you send a text to them, when they look at it, it's too long, they just go to the next one. They watch video. When they see
Yes.
video, they look at it and they laugh.
Yeah.
But to reading develops your brain. They don't have that capacity, that patience to knuckle down and get the text. Even if it's rubbish, that rubbish will do something in your brain. It will gear some of your drink lobes to make you get you into the process of thinking. But unfortunately, these are the problems. And we are grateful for a man like Peter Obi who is coming to turn all of this around.
Yes.
A man, when he gives you when he tells you about numbers, statistical numbers, he quotes them from the top of his head. He doesn't
Yes.
read them from paper.
He actually do better without paper.
Absolutely. You and I, we saw him at Chatham House.
Yes,
You know?
it was better without the paper. The paper was the problem.
Yeah,
It was a problem
was
to
problem
Peter.
with the paper. But when the man started talking from his head,
Yes.
you could see the machine in that man. Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, I'm talking about people. I'm asking people to see that quality in this man. You know, and it doesn't matter what tribe you are from. You know, the man will tell you that if you can show me a shop where a Muslim will buy bread cheaper than a Christian,
Yes.
and
Then
or
we can-
a shop where a Christian will buy bread cheaper than a Muslim, then he would step back and say, okay, there's no problem in Nigeria. So if you campaign on religion or you are campaigning on tribal basis, then you have lost it. Nigerians have grown above that. I can tell you, Nigerians are wiser. They are a
All
lot
right.
wiser. And
I cannot agree with you.
this is what we are seeing in the country today with the youths. Initially, they said, "Oh, the man didn't have a structure."
Yes.
They were shocked when they saw the people on the streets,
In
campaigning
fact,
for him.
yeah, these are
And
his structure.
it's the same wow that they would say on the day of election. Because
Yes,
when
so
they'll be counting the ballot papers, you are going to be here Peter B, Peter B, Peter B, Peter B, Peter B. Then the others one, Peter B,
yes.
Peter B, Peter B, another one.
Yes.
They'll be wild, you know.
All right. Listen, let's go into governors because I know other people have questions to answer. So
Yes,
I'm going to give them a little bit of chance to do what they do best. I'm going
yes,
to just ask you now on governance.
yes,
Okay. You managed to convince us now that you don't need a structure to win an election,
yes.
but you certainly need a structure to
No, no,
govern
I
the
did.
country.
Wait. The structure Nigerians mean is giving money. That's what they
Yes.
call structure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, you
So
don't need that to win an election. Yes,
yes,
and I
good.
want to
If
get
we
that
can
straight.
escape that, if we
Yes,
can escape that, but you
yes,
definitely need a structured society.
yes,
For instance, you mentioned just now that the Nigerian police is not fit for purpose. One, they don't have the numbers, and I doubt if they have the right training as well and the right orientation. That's number one. So there's practically no rule of law, structure,
yes,
and the a president crying that he is handicapped, a vice president crying that people take money and run away. It means he has no control of the state. Now, the issue of insecurity, which is the primary aim of government, to protect our lives and property, is not is security is alien to us today in Nigeria. How on earth is Peter's government going to address these challenges? Now I'm talking about we are in government now.
yes. Right. Thank you very much. This is simple. Governance is the simplest thing to plan. The problem really with governance is human resources. And I always tell people, especially when I was teaching, I used to tell people that human resources management is the hardest job on earth.
Of
You
course.
design a project, the project is foolproof. You wake up in the morning, you look and say, yes, I got it. You go to bed, you sleep, wake up the next morning, say, yes, it's in the pot, it's in my pocket. But the day you deploy human beings into that project, that's when you will know that your project was not in your pocket and you didn't quite get it. So the problem we have in Nigeria is the human resources, and it's the same with governance. I will break down governance for you as simple as possible. We vote for members of assembly who represent the communities where they come from.
Yes.
We vote for members of House of Representatives. I don't need to tell you what the meaning of the word representative means. They represent their communities.
Yes.
I can tell you that Nigerians, if you take an average House of Assembly member or a member of representative and ask them a simple question: how many roads are in your community? How many schools are in your community? How many factories are in your community? How many infrastructural, in your community? I can tell you that they don't know. They don't even know the needs, the requirements of their communities. And this is what Peter Obi is going to bring to this government. Every
Wonderful.
member of rep must bring to the House of Representatives the needs and requirements of their communities. They put all of that together on the table. Every community looks at, every House of Rep will present what their community needs in a standard format across Nigeria, not having one state, Zamfara backward, one state, Lagos State or River State, over the highly developed. No, all the representatives across Nigeria will go to their communities and bring requirements that will drive their community to standard. And they put all this in a short term, in a medium term, and in a long term project. The president is just an executive officer. The president gets this document and approves the project. And of course, Peter Obi has very intelligent people who will look at all these projects and allocate them within the time frame of development. So the ones that he needs to address on the short term, they will be the kickoff, the medium term, and of course they can also start the long term basis, which the government after him, government that will come after him, will take over.
Yes.
However, this must be done before. If we don't do it like this, Nigeria will come back in 10 years' time after P2B will have gone, and we'll still be saying the same thing. Our members of rep just think their job in the House of Assembly or in the House of Representatives is money or contract. No,
Yes.
contracts live in policies.
Yes.
A government must have its policies, yes, and all the contracts and all these requirements from your community, they live within the contract. I hear people talk about uh, what's it called now? Community. What they call it some name in Nigeria. You know,
Constituency project.
so, yeah, say it again.
Constituency project.
Constituency project. You see
Yes.
how shallow that is. When
Yes.
they are supposed to come with, they are supposed to come with a bag of all their requirements from their community. They go to the house and look for one project and call it
No project to
the
do.
project. Do
Yes.
you see how small that is?
That's true. It's
You
true.
know, whereas they are supposed to sit with their communities, talk with the elders, the youths, the women, and get a document of the requirements of their communities. Take that document to the House of Assembly. They sit down, they go to the House and it's constituency project they look for.
Ha.
It's
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are with Olorogun Chudo Ochoko. Areki. You know, he has used one word which I want to take home tonight. They were moving out of mediocrity to meritocracy. Write it down because we're going to hold them accountable. We want to see the meritocracy when the time comes. But I'm proud of the movement, to be honest. And I think many of you are. I'm going to allow a few people to ask questions so that because I don't have, I've been taking all the time from Todo. So I'm going to allow one or two questions to come in. Bishop, your line is, we can hear some noise from your line. If you're not talking, can you mute it for now? So that, thank you, sir. So now I'm going to, anyway, I'm still going to bring you in immediately. But it's Godwin there. Let's have Godwin. Then we're going to have Bishop. And then we're going to do that. Let's hear from you, Godwin. You have any question for Chodo? Yes.
Well, what I just want to say is that Peter Obi, if it happens that he wins, he has to walk extra miles. He has to work harder. Because the type of structure those politicians are referring to, if you go back to history, you see that for the past 7 years, starting from local government, states, the politicians, they employed most of those people in the local government. And even though the staff in the states. And one of the saddest things that happened to many employees is that they are not even honest to the states. They are honest to those people that employed them, like the local government chairman or the politicians, to the detriment of the states. So it will be very, very, very difficult to uproot them from the system. Okay. So what I will say is that Obi has a brighter chance, but he has to work extra mile, bring people on board that will assist him to achieve his goals. But if he allow politics to come in, I'm sorry, it should still be square one. So that's just what I want to say. Maybe somebody else can contribute to it.
Thank you. Now I'll allow to that to weigh in.
Thank you very much. I didn't get his name again. Sorry,
it's Godwin.
Godwin. Thank you very much, Godwin, for that contribution. Now, when you started, you said if Peter Obi wins, it's no longer an if issue. It's when, please. So next time when you are talking about Peter Obi, you say when Peter Obi wins, because you said also that he's got the highest chance or chances of winning the election. Now, we agree that Nigeria is in a rut. you know, or let me say it so that people understand. Nigeria is rotten, you know. Now,
Agreed.
yes, and Peter Obi he has the skill. He has done it before, and he has promised us that he will do it again. He has the skill of managing human beings, human resources. He has been a successful entrepreneur. You know, Peter Obi ran 3 banks in Nigeria, which are still doing very well: Access Bank, Diamond Bank, and Fidelity Bank. Peter Obi ran Anambra State as governor for 8 years, and the rest of it is there for everyone to go and glean from. You know, Peter Obi also ran businesses in the United Kingdom before he went to Nigeria to become a governor. You know, so we know that Peter Obi has the capacity, he has the competencies of dealing with this wrath that we have found ourselves in Nigeria. You know, the class of people who should develop Nigeria are the youths, you know, the 18 to 35, 40 years. Unfortunately, this class of people, they have no jobs. Even those who have jobs, they may have come from the universities as medical doctors, engineers. They are sitting on keke as their job. You know, Peter Obi knows how to deal with all of this. And I can assure you that as you go to bed tonight, be rest assured that when Peter Obi becomes president, all of this will transcend. He's not going to do it automatically. When you are dealing with human beings, you don't give birth to a child today, tomorrow the child becomes an adult.
No.
There's a transition process, but
Yes.
the child will become an adult. So
Eventually.
the Nigerian must grow from this childhood that we are today and become adults in future. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yes, and I'm going to bring in Bishop quickly, but I still have one question. Bishop, if you give me 1 minute, let me just throw this to Chief Olorogun Chudo. See, 2 things that interest everybody, which I think you well articulated on this campaign as well, is the issue of the economy, which is the number one thing. That's the essence of government, our economy. Peter used one word which is quite interesting. That's the first thing I heard. I said, "Oh, who is this man?" He spoke my language. He said, "We're gonna move Nigeria from revenue allocation to production allocation." I said, "Wow, who is talking?" You know?
No, I think you got it wrong. He said we will move Nigeria from consumption to production.
Amen. You see, yes, which is quite very powerful. That being said, the truth is, and I'm going to look at very broad now, 2 questions in a way. How is he going to cut down on one language they call security vote, which is a waste? I'm talking of the waste in government now. You see, in some of the states, this is one of the big battles I'm going to ask. He, at the federal level, may do all the good things. What about the state governor? How is Peter going to impress? How is he going to put his power on them to do the right thing? Because the federal government gets some allocation, it shares to the state. To be honest, Buhari shared money to these governors. What they do with the money, Buhari have no say. For instance, the money that comes to Delta State, nothing goes to the local government. And what can the president do? If Peter becomes president, when he becomes president, let me use the right word now, how is he going to work with this set of governors he doesn't know now? Because I doubt if the Labour Party have the kind of governors like Peter running for offices, we don't see them. All we know is we have a good man in Peter. But how is he going to work with these demonic governors who are out there to enjoy waste? One, if you see some states have security vote of about 2 billion, and instead they're killing them people every day. He has security votes, and I can talk of Delta State with that huge amount of security vote. They went about appointing boards and boards and boards and boards. They've not been able to pay the civil servant. The president is watching. Now they have local government. They refuse to give power. Some of them don't. They control when they have local government elections. They don't do. But even when they do, the little allocation coming from the federal government do not go to those local government. How is Peter, as a president, going to deal with all these monsters? Because it's one thing to be at the federal level and come up with all the policy. What about the
Okay.
state and the local government?
Okay. I think your first issue, the issue you raised about security votes,
Yes.
that is so easy. Peter Obi has said it, that how he is going to do it, because we do not have enough police officers on our streets.
Yes.
So you find insurgency, you find banditry, you find armed robbery, you find insecurity on our streets. That is, you know, it's as a result of no love anyway. I'm not saying it's human nature. Even as peaceful as we
Yes.
are in the UK or in America or in Germany, you still have pockets of armed robbery,
Insecurity.
thieves, and not necessarily insecurity. People are in a way secure in these countries. I can wake up at 2 a.m. and go and pick my wife from work 5-10 miles away from where I'm 5-10 hours drive from where I live, driving at an average speed of 70 miles an hour, you know and I feel secure. Nothing will happen to me. I'll go pick her up and come back home that same night.
Yes.
Yeah, Nigeria. So people, some people, the idiots, are the
Yes.
ones spearheading this insecurity so that they can push what they call security votes in their budgets. Now, if Peter Obi sorry, when Peter Obi becomes president, I beg your pardon, when Peter
Yes.
Obi becomes president, he has said that 350,000 police officers in Nigeria is child's play to 210, average 210 million Nigerians. So, in other words, there are areas of Nigeria where you will not find a police officer. And out of this meager number of 350, our politicians are taking so many out of that number. One politician is moving around with five police officers. So this your security vote that you are worried about. Peter Obi has analyzed it, and we know that it will not be automatic, but it will be done. Nigeria will be secured again, safe and secured. For instance, he has a plan to manage our borders so that foreigners don't come into Nigeria. And he also has a plan of not using the military. The military is to protect the outside of external Nigeria, not internal. The police are supposed to do that job of protecting us internally. The military's job is external. So no military officer will harass you on the streets of Nigeria. They will be in their barracks, living peacefully. If there is any need to deploy them to protect our shores and borders, they will be drafted to do so. So I don't worry about security votes. The other one you talked about was the politicians. Remind me, please. The second question.
Yes, I talk about how the states, you see, with the state governors, you
Yes.
can do all the good things at the federal level. What happened
Yes,
to the
yes,
state?
yes, yes. I get that now. Yes. So this is the thing. When you go into governance, proper governance, which Peter Obi is bringing to Nigeria, every member of assembly, every house of representative, they will go back to their communities and do their job. Their job is to get their community's requirements. What does your community need? Bring it on board. And holistically, Peter Obi will deal with that. I know there are some duplicity in our politics in Nigeria. You have federal ministry of education, and then you have state ministry of education doing
Exactly.
exactly the same job. Where
Yes.
Peter Obi is going to streamline all of this. There's a road in Delta State that has been bad. They say it's federal
Yes.
road. The
Yes.
state government cannot do it because the
Exactly.
federal
Yes.
government is not doing it. So we are in a mess. No one can sit
Agree.
down and think and say, hang on, you, the federal man, you are passing through this road. Me, the state man, I'm also passing through. My brothers and sisters, family, they go through this road that has been here. You
Yes.
say it's federal road,
Federal government.
state government cannot do it. And you, the federal government, you don't want to do it. So these are the things Peter Obi is bringing on board. I know this because if you listen to Peter Obi talk, you hear all of this. And I'm sure
Yeah.
Nigerians have woken up to hear this man, that he may not be a messiah, but
No.
at the moment, he's the man to give, he's wearing that crown that will give us
Yes.
a new trajectory to the Nigeria of our dreams.
Okay. In fact, to be honest, when I watch Peter, I'm sitting down here as a neutral man. But when you watch Peter, you cannot help but fall in love with him. But I'm going to keep quiet. Bishop, are you there? Let's allow Bishop to weigh in quickly
Okay.
as we're coming into an hour into the broadcast. Bishop, are you there? Let's hear from you, sir. Okay. Bishop might be into something else, but he's in the platform. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let Isakwere. Isakwere, are you there? The supply man. Oh, Bishop. Okay.
Hello.
Let's hear from Bishop. Sorry, Isakwere. Bishop, over to you, sir.
Yes. Okay. The truth of the matter is, I know it's going to be a difficult one, very, very difficult one for every one of them that is on the race, from Showore to Kongwaso, Atiku, Peter Obi, and Tinubu. It's not going to be an easy race. But the issue is, let Nigeria have it at the back of their mind that the people that will emerge as the winner, let them have it at the back of their mind that Nigeria has suffered enough. Nigerians, we have suffered enough. It is time to change the narratives and do something different.
Yes. Go on, Bishop. We're with you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, have we lost him?
He's a little waving. His network is waving. Yeah, he's talking about that whoever wins this election, they should realize that Nigerians
control it. Enough is enough.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much, Bishop. If you can hear us.
So let us do something different.
Yes.
Let the state have power, and the state are not doing well now. Let the governor have a rethink that they are not voted in just to come and embezzle the state money.
Interesting. Okay.
You are voted in to come and do something different. Let the local government also know that they, the local chairmen that were voted in, they were voted for something different. Because this attitude of what am I going to have when I'm not there tomorrow for my children, the same children you are stealing this property for now, are you sure they have the capacity, the ability, the knowledge, the wisdom to handle this thing you are stealing? A child who has never worked before, from his primary school to university level, is big on pampering from the father and the mother. He has not mixed with people. He does not know how suffering is. And you are bringing him now to come and become a leader, a governor, or what? Who is he going to lead? Even the so-called school you said is attending overseas. You are paying the professor there to just make things look as if the boy study is a drug addict. So we should please come back to the local level. There are a lot of intelligent people here that can make this work. But the best man is not always chosen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bishop. Thank you very much.
We in Nigeria in this election, let us change the narratives.
Okay, Bishop, allow our man to respond. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bishop. You have just elucidated the problem we have in Nigeria. You know, there's no other way to put it better than you have done. Now, the only other way that we may have considered is just imagine 5 of the contestants are like Peter Obi. You and I will not have this conversation because any of them who wins, Nigeria goes the right way. You know, so this is the transition we are about. All of this will change. Nigeria will, in the UK, where some of us are here, we don't bother about we don't campaign like this,
Yeah.
you know, Daddy Chris, the moderator, will tell you that. He
Yeah, I
lives in
agree.
England,
I agree.
you know. On the day of election, you can go to your polling booth, you won't find anybody there. You just go in, they give you your ballot paper, you put your cross and walk away. You know, no, they don't stop you from going to work. People still go to work. After they close from work, they go home. If they like to vote, they will still go to their polling booths that will be open till like 10 o'clock in the evening. They cast their vote, and that's it. The next day, results announced, because any of them who wins will do the same thing for the people, not for
Agree.
their children, not for themselves, not for their
Agree.
community. These are tribesmen. People we need to re-educate. They are the ones we have. They are the ones we have to use, unfortunately. But
Yes.
Peter Obi is coming with that mantra of changing their mindset. That these people must have a different mindset to government's money. You don't work in the ministry of a government ministry, for that matter, and a document comes for you to sign, look at, read, and pass on. You sit on the document until whoever is within that document gives you money before you can
Yes.
pass the document. All of this will change. I can tell you that. You know, I
Thank
can
you.
only tell you that with Peter will be coming.
Yes. I'm going to bring in Shakwere quickly. Shakwere, you have something to say you have a question to ask, and then before we jump, we still have more people on the platform. I know you guys have your questions ready. So get your questions ready, make it brief so that our man will have time to answer them quickly. Over to you, Shakwere.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir. My man,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
Sorry, I'm a bit busy by now, but
Okay.
but I'm listening.
You're
I'm
listening.
a bit
Very
busy
good.
by
Very,
now.
very good. Okay. That's good. That gives us some time. Listen, between Bishop and Samson, who want to say first? Because I know you two have something to say. Who is coming up first? I know two of you have big, loud mouth. Pastor Sonny, are you there? Or you are just coming in?
I'm here.
Okay, sir. You have a question for our man. Tudo is in here. He's been talking to us from the obedient movement. He has told us why Peter Obi is different, what they are doing to win the election, and what will happen when Peter becomes the president. I've asked some questions. Bishop, do you have any questions for him, or you have anything to say to him?
Okay, we thank God. Mine will not just be just a question, but I want to throw light into what is happening in our nation. It's very painful for we to see a nation like Nigeria now. Very, very painful. To me, I see that Peter Obi is from God to test us, the last test for Nigeria. If Nigeria will stand or it will collapse, Peter Obi is the one from God for now, because I'm a man that God have endowed with wisdom. I study things with the Holy Spirit. At the beginning of our democracy, God decided to bring somebody from prison that will become a president.
True.
Great opportunity that was given to Obasanjo. Obasanjo did his best. And God decided to pick somebody that was sick, that is not too strong, so that he can be honest that is about to leave this earth now.
Yes.
He can be honest and put a good thing in place. And that man tried his best. Yaradua, the man was actually doing his best. And the man left. God decided to pick another person that have never had that ambition of becoming a president. A man from local government chairman to deputy governor. From deputy governor, he is not qualified to be vice president, but he was a vice president. From vice president, become a president. God wants him to display his part. And he plays his part. And God decided to, after him, to choose somebody who had been crying for this position for 12 years. He want to do something, want to do something, want to do something. God decided to look his angle. That is where we are today.
What an
To
analogy.
me,
Yes.
To me, Peter Obi is the different for all that I'll be picking out now. Peter Obi is somebody that is different from PDP now, is different from APC that I've ruled before. But one thing baffles me, the way Nigerian people think is a great concern, it's a great pain. Because if we are to be another country, my brother, if Nigeria were to be another country, APC can never come out and contest for these 8 years of discussion. They don't even have that moral stand to come and present somebody. If their APC is to present somebody to some countries, they will apologize, plead, and sought for the best, who will be able to say is coming to repair. But not another president telling you that he want to start from where Buhari stopped. He want to build on the platform of Buhari. When people are dying, when people cannot eat, when people cannot survive, when people are escaping from Nigeria now. So I look to the public, and by the time I see numbers of people still vying for APC, working with APC, I wonder what kind of human being we have in Nigeria. It's a very shameful thing.
Olorogun call us that we are idiots. We are many of us
No,
are idiots.
yes, rightly so. It's not a fool. Not
Not
Chris.
we are idiots. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Go on. Yes.
So, Daddy Chris.
Yes, sir.
The kind of human being we have today, if they are to be used for sacrifice for Juju will even reject them because their brain is not functioning.
Oh my God. Oh my God. OMG.
The brain is not working. Then look at it now. Look at PDP. I used to support PDP a lot, but look at PDP. PDP, when Ibori was fighting for 30% derivation,
this is not Siakpere.
Resource control.
Huh?
Who is
This resource control was approved.
Who?
Pastor Sonny?
Pastor who?
Pastor Sonny?
Pastor Sonny?
Yeah.
Pastor Sonny? Let me help you. Let me help you a bit.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your comments, your thoughts.
I can't hear him very clearly.
We can hear
you can't hear me very clear.
We can hear you.
Pastor Sonny, can you hear me now?
And I think the platform can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me now? So I thank you very much for your thoughts. I thank you very much for your comments. However, we are where we are because of, if you go back in history, you will find out how we are here, where we are. Yes. In 1953, Chief Anthony Erumosele, he asked the British House of Commons in Lagos for independence. And the British were like, you want independence? No, you cannot, you are not qualified to rule yourself here not here. They say, no, we can rule ourselves. They said, no, you cannot rule yourself. They said, no, we can't. The Northerners said, no, we are not ready. We want to stay with the British. Azikiwe, Awolowo, Akintola, Erumosele, a few other Nigerians said, we are ready for independence. They put pressure on the British. And the pressure came as a result of Ghana getting their own independence. Yes. So the British didn't know. They said, okay, if you guys want. Now, if you go back a few years, there was a guy called Sir Frederick Diltry Lugard.
Yes.
Frederick Lugard vehemently refused to train Nigerians because he wanted Nigerians as slaves. So if he trained Nigerians to know how to do things, then he will not be able to use them as slaves. His job will have expired in Nigeria, and then he packs his load and goes. Now, if you look at our history, what has been tumbling over into independence, we got the independence, Nigerians were not trained on governance, on production, on engineering, on the technology at the time. The technology was industrial revolution.
True.
Yes, they were factories. We were not trained on how to use the factories. So when they left, we got stuck with our politicians who wore their shoes and became the Lord. Oyibo were treating us as slaves, our own brothers and sisters who became politicians started treating us as
A
slaves.
slave. I'm coming to that.
Instead of educating us and training us on how to do things at that time, Industrial Revolution, they did not. So that is how we got where we are today. Peter Obi knows that. He knows that we are here today because of the lack of education of our people. Yes? And so much so today in Nigeria, you still find that the crop of people who are educated from our university, they are nothing to write about. However, the average Nigerian is an intelligent person. I had a first class from my university here when I studied project management here. And it's not because I'm big-headed, but that is the case with most Nigerians. A Nigerian who goes to university here, an average of second class upper, that's what they get. That's to tell you that innate in us, inside us, there are capabilities, but these capabilities are not being tapped by the government or people in government. I'll give you an example. If you have a child in England, if the child does not go to school, you, the parent, you go to jail.
Exactly. I keep saying it. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're with us tonight. Yes.
It is compulsory for children to go to school.
You go to prison if you don't do
Yes,
that.
if your child does not go to school, you, the parent, you go to prison. It's as simple as that. Because these children are the leaders of tomorrow. Now, when these children go to school, what are they trained? The training is the same across the land. America, they have a body that monitors and manages the educational system in America. In England, there is a body. In England, it's called Ofsted.
Yes.
Ofsted manages the standard of education. You don't have one school calling himself and private university, so and so and so, teaching children in Nigeria rubbish, another private university or so and so teaching whatever they like. No. It's a recipe for confusion.
Agreed.
All schools must be on the same page. So if a child deserves a first class, that child gets the first class. That way, together, the country will evolve and develop. And Peter Obi is coming with it. You know?
Yes.
If the other people in the other parties were like Peter Obi, then of course I will not be here talking to you about governance, because they would know. But we are dealing with people who are already digging the pit that we are in. They will push us to one side of the pit and dig more so that they will push us deeper into the pit.
And if they allow me, if the people allow me to throw one question to you, which is the biggest challenge I have in Nigeria, to be honest, and I hardly do any show without talking about it, which is the gap between the rich and the poor. You use the right word. The white people came, they took us as slaves. Our own brothers are actually enslaving us more. Our own relatives, our fathers are enslaving us more than the white people did.
Yes.
Because when the white people came, they came for labor. They pick us as slaves. We see them in America today. But in fact, they were paying, they still pay them better. Their life is even better now than the ones that are not managed by us. Let me give you this instance. How can a senator, where is the wisdom in a senator or a governor going with some billions of naira monthly, and you cannot pay people 30,000 naira? My brother, you are here in the UK. What is 30,000 naira as a wage? Is that not slavery?
Yes, that's 30 pounds.
Is it up to 30 pounds?
Yeah, roughly. Let's just,
Okay.
Now my daughter is in McDonald's. She will eat 30 pounds. You want
Exactly.
Somebody's salary in Nigeria.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we're with you, Sonny. Yes, go on, Sonny.
I have not finished yet.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
The
only opportunity we have now is Peter Obi. Is the only opportunity we have now. And if we miss it, that means the future for Nigeria is on the ground of 50-50. If you talk of PDP, Atiku was one of those who were behind the 14 northern governors that fueled 30% derivation. When 30% derivation was approved to Delta State, Atiku joined 14 northern governors to fight it in the court. How come that is somebody that is vying for president now did not allow the Southern man to enjoy 30%? How are you sure this man will allow you to open your seaport? How will this man allow you to have your resources? What God, not what Nigeria have, what God have given to you. And you see some of these Southerners are still warming up, calling themselves PDP. Apart from that, my brother, when I watch watch television and see how the deep sea port that were commissioned by Buhari in Lagos, I was crying bitterly. We have ports in the south here. We have Warri Port. We have Sapele Port. We have Cocoa Port. We have Calabar Port. We have Port Harcourt Port.
Burutu.
None of these ports is existing. None of these ports. Dangote take over Calabar Port. Dangote take over Port Harcourt Port. Nothing from international enter our sea. Yoruba share their seaport that Kanu should be being the cargo airline. Northerners they share it with the Yoruba so that we can remain as a coward. And many Southerners are jubilating and happy as a coward. We have too many Southerners.
We are idiots.
We have too many Southerners who love the chain, the slave chain on their neck.
Yes.
We have too many Southerners who love their slave chain. They want the chain to remain in their neck and they are happy with it. They are comfortable with the bad situation. By now, you don't need to tell a Southerner who they should support. No campaign. Because the APC and PDP did not have any chance for the South, does not have any good plan for them. Is it Shetima or Okowa that is a governor in Delta State here? You cannot see anything in Delta Central. Nothing to show for the trillions of naira. Ibori 8 years is 8 billion. He was able to use that 8 billion to fight for resource control. That have given birth to Jonathan as a president. That have made the entire Northern, entire Nigeria to recognize Nigeria then as the owner of the oil. 800 billion were used to fight this fight. And construction, bridges were built. But today, with Okowa, trillions of naira, you cannot see road. You cannot see hospital. Nothing you can see. But to my man there, I want to advise my man. I'm a pastor, my brother. I know what I'm saying. The land is very powerful. The sea is very powerful. There are powers. We always say spiritual control the physical. How prepared Peter Obi is in the spiritual realm. Don't play with the spiritual. By now that you have a team of pastors, men of God who are praying for him 24 hours. Even when he entered the seat, you call it the seat of power, seat of power. Do you know the power that is behind it? In the Aso Rock there, it's characterized with demons. Aso Rock is characterized with demons, with powers. You can be excellent on the ground. By the time you sit down on the chair, you are the biggest fool. If you don't have spiritual understanding, you will become a mumu automatically. Okay, how spiritually matured? Because I like this message to be conveyed to Peter Obi. If you can reach Peter Obi, tell him that he needs to see a true man of God who will prepare a special squad. Because as we are talking of election, the kingdom of darkness have a candidate. Coven have a candidate. Who will continue the blood that is flowing in the land so that it can continue. They are enjoying it. If you ask for people that are possessed, they will tell you, say the best head of state that we have ever produced is Buhari, because they see more blood in his time than any other person.
Okay, sir.
In the spiritual range, there are a lot of.
Okay, Sonny, we get you.
Thank you very much.
Sonny is such a, he come with this wonderful analysis. I don't know where this man. I'm going to give you an appointment. I want to make a local government councillor first. Go on, sir.
Pastor Sonny, thank you very much. I can tell you that Peter B is very spiritual. He's very spiritually ready and physically ready. you said also that the spirit drives the physical. Yes. So if your physical is mobile, it means your spirit is also mobile. Your
It's already
spirit is
driving
going.
already.
Yes.
You've been driven.
I
You've
have
been driven.
never seen a president in this world that is more mobile than Peter Obi. Sorry, did I say president? Oh yes. Oh, thank God
Yes.
for that.
Uh,
I've
He's
never
not the
seen a
president.
man.
I wonder where he's not yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I already feel that Peter Obi is my
He's
president.
not the president. Okay.
When he
Yeah.
came
I
to
like
London, I called him my president.
yes.
I've never seen a man like that. Today is in London, tomorrow is in Abuja, next tomorrow is in Kafanchan, the other day is in Kano, the other day is in Jos, the other day is in Mina, the other day is in Warri, the other day is the same day. He had his itinerary the day he went to Delta State rally. He had seven programs in his itinerary. He started the morning in Berekete TV in Abuja. Then he left Abuja and flew to Warri. He left Warri, tried to get to the Okorode of Olomu's palace. They could not land because the pilot said when he saw the crowd, they were afraid to land.
Yeah.
They left there, they didn't land. So they imagined that the same thing would be the story with the Isoko monarchs who were waiting for him at Ole. He said, okay, let's just go to Asaba. When they got to Asaba, they went to the Dane of Agbo. When they got there, Peter Obi could not come out of the chopper. The crowd, the mammoth people, these were genuine people who felt the pains like you are feeling it, Pastor Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's a
felt the pain. Pastor Sonny, I beg your pardon.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, they felt the pain. They came out to meet Peter Obi. The pilot had to start the propeller slowly, faster, then disperse people, and they took off. So they couldn't even see the Dane of Agbo. Then they went to the rally, all in one day. And after that day's rally, no, after that Asaba rally, he went to see the Asaba of Asaba that same day. And after seeing the Asaba of Asaba, he went to Anambra State, just across, and had a Zoom meeting with us, with people.
Wow.
What kind of man is that? The man is ready, like since May, to be president of Nigeria.
Physically ready. I agree. I'm going to bring in one obedient man in. I know him to be obedient. In fact, on this word here, he's obedient. Samson, I know you were there. Somebody from your obedient man is here. Are you there, Samson? Let's hear from you. You have something to say? Because today,
yes, sir.
Yeah, go on. Go on, sir. Go on.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Samson.
Obedient na papa, mama, pikin.
Yes,
Humans, not
yes.
material things, not some things that they took from the forest to use as a project for humans. Obedient have the kind of structures that people never think that we have today. Obedient has been a dream that we have fight for a very long time, but people did not understand the word. They have been using that word to play music, Obi, Kireke, Obi, but they never knew it would come to pass that Obi would stand to be the president of Nigeria today, because he's already the president. He's not just if it's a negative word. We don't belong to negative things. We belong to positive.
Okay.
We are positive kind of people that when we speak, it comes to pass because we believe on what we want to achieve. And we are very patient. And that is how the Yoruba people are. The Yoruba people are patient people, but when they want to achieve, they will achieve. And it's an opportunity for me to speak to you as an Yoruba man, because you are an Yoruba man who is leading this movement in UK, who uses this opportunity to move Yoruba forward as a team too, as an obedient people. The patience we have as the Yoruba kingdom for a very long time has been a pain to the youth who has been passing through pains, tears. You know the most funny thing in Yoruba kingdom, whenever you're doing things, so who is your father? We all know us well. But the owners where they are the people I believe that they will move Orobo Kingdom because they read hard, they want to become somebody to move Orobo Kingdom to let people understand this. Owners where is not the key here, but what can you do for Orobo land?
Thank you.
And that is what will be telling us what can we do for Nigeria? Because we all are shouting Obi, 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 Obi. What can we do to make sure that Obi works very well?
Thank you.
Like the House of Senate, House of Rep, and so many other places. There are so many things that we have to work on because those people, they are criminals too. They have to reschedule them. If they want to create a better Nigeria, they should not work in. If you are from Oropo local government, you work in Oropo local government council. No, you schedule them. When you schedule them, they cannot do anything funny. That is what Obi is going to do. You are an Hausa man, you can work in Delta State. You are a Delta man, you can head an office in Kaduna. That things will work well because the reason why we have this problem and Obi have seen it all is because we believe on tribal and it's coming to bring with that tribal.
Amen.
The tribal has really destroyed Nigeria and I know Obi is doing it because I've seen him talks. I've seen him answered questions. I've seen him talk with even those who are not even educated. He understand them and he can speak with them. That is what they call the president.
Thank you.
I am very happy that we have a brother Olorogun himself in the platform as an honorable man who understand the word patient.
Thank you.
And this is the time for us to move. Thank you, sir.
All right. I know you, I don't know whether you want to ship in something. There's one other young man here, Rufus from Libya. I know this is how we got them and the lady from Belgium. Rufus, just bring your own so that you respond to the two at the same time. Quickly, Rufus. Yes.
Okay, sir. I don't really have much to say, but let me just tip you something, sir. Okay. Like to me, I don't believe in any candidate. The reason is this. Nigeria has failed us for so many years. Since 1960 to date, there is nothing to write home about. And tomorrow, people will now tell you that Nigeria have PhD holders. A country that has PhD holder and is still living in doom is a pity. But there's something, there's a question I have for that one, Honorable, concerning the Peter Obi that is promoting right now. I don't have a problem with Peter Obi. All the problem I have is this. It is the doomed evil people that we have. What will Peter Obi do to change the constitution that you have, the constitution that have taken away your resources from you? What is he going to do that will change that constitution? Rather, maybe revive that constitution for the next 4 years. Is he going to be able to change the constitution for the next 4 years?
Thank you.
It's a very big question.
I know it's a big one.
Because if he can't able to do that in the next 4 years, that means Peter B is going to be doomed. That is my question for you, sir.
Thank you.
Your throw light on that. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Can I let me start with the previous caller.
Yes, something.
When he said, what's your father's name? Yes, all of that. No one is going to ask you that in this government.
Amen.
Peter Obi has said it time and again that the child of a nobody.
No.
Sorry, the child of a nobody will become somebody in Nigeria.
Yes.
And that is the way it is. America, for instance, they call it the land of anybody can become anybody in America.
Yes.
They've
displayed that.
Yeah.
They displayed that.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing we are going to have in Nigeria. People can become somebody from nobody in Nigeria. So this is the kind of leadership. So the previous caller, I think his name was what was his name?
Rufus.
Rufus. Yeah, Rufus. So don't worry about that. I know that in Urobo land, we have a culture of asking those kind of questions and say, who is your father? When you see somebody who can do something for you, you're asking about his father. What has his father got to do with what this young man wants to do for you?
Exactly.
He may have lost his father. The father may have been dead. And you're asking me, say, who is your father? What do you want to do with his father? I bring to your table what I want, what I want to do for you, and you're asking me who my father is, So Nigeria will become that land, the land of opportunities, like America. Peter Obi will create that opportunity for everybody. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that over 90% of people who live abroad, the same thing they say to Peter Obi, that they want to come home. We're talking about doctors, lawyers, engineers, and not just their top level people in these communities abroad. I remember Bill Clinton, when he was president of America, he gave a Nigerian man an award, an Igbo man, for designing the fastest computer in the world. That's a Nigerian. What is he doing in America? He's still there, by the way, with his family and children. That 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 sort of man should be living in Nigeria, developing our land for us. If the land had the opportunities that it needs. Yes?
Yes.
Now, for Peter, I'm sorry, Nigeria is not doomed yet.
Yes, that's from Rufus. That's Rufus, yes.
Rufus, the second caller. Was it Peter that was the first caller?
No, the first one was Samson, and then the second one is Rufus.
Rufus, okay. As for Rufus, Nigeria is not doomed at all. What you are looking at is your time in Nigeria may be doomed. My time may be doomed. As a matter of fact, I always tell people that this administration that have come have wasted my generation. Yes, but that doesn't mean that is the end of Nigeria. No. Nigeria was, Nigeria will be, and will continue to be. Nigeria was, Nigeria is, Nigeria will continue.
Nigeria will be. Amen.
Yes.
I like that. So, Nigeria was.
Yes, Nigeria is, and Nigeria will continue to be. But in your was, it may have been very good. In my is bad. And in the continue to be, it will change. It may get worse, but nothing stays the same forever. No condition is permanent. None. So Nigeria will change. So that doom and gloom that you are talking about is if Peter Obi does not resolve the problems with the constitution, Nigeria is doomed. No. Nigeria will. The problems of the constitution, I know that Peter Obi wants to address it. Yes? Because we do know that the man who wrote the constitution wrote it because he wanted to transform himself from a military ruler to a civilian ruler. So he wrote the constitution to suit himself. Unfortunately, that's the constitution we have been working with. And because of this tribesmen in us, this idiocracy in us, we have refused to be citizens who should see that the constitution of Nigeria should be the same across board, not in favor of some people against the others. I know that if you live in America or in Germany or in the UK, if you are tired of living in one area of the UK of America, you can jolly well go to another area. So if you live in London, for instance, and you are sick and tired of living in London, you can go to Scotland or you can go to Wales.
Yes.
And still live the way you were living in London. But that's not the case in Nigeria. And these are the things that are driven by our constitution in Nigeria. And Peter Obi is going to deal with all of this. So Rufus, I would like you to take away the doom and gloom and see Nigeria of before, of now, and future.
Amen.
We are interested in the future. That is why Peter Obi has been given that crown to take us from what it was to what it will be.
Amen.
And I can assure you that people like you and I who are in diaspora, because I hear you are in Libya, so you're in diaspora, we're all going to go back home. Good. Because it will no more be doom and gloom, but it will be boom for us.
So, And now, as we come towards the end of the broadcast, I'm going to put this to you finally. You're talking to a lot of us. Most of us are, 90% of the people might not be obedient. In one word, tell us how we can be obedient and what we can contribute to make this journey easier and faster so that we all can get to the promised land, as you try to put it to us tonight, sir.
How can such a long question want just one word answer? Are you sure it's one word you want, or you want me to answer that?
Answer it anyhow. Answer.
Okay. Well, we have been through pains. We have been through sufferings. In November, in the month of November alone, 80,000 Nigerians left Nigeria to come to the UK. In 1 month. It's unacceptable. And they're not leaving because they want to come and visit UK and go back to Nigeria. They are leaving because they are running away from Nigeria. That's unacceptable. So if you have that pain in your heart and you know that Nigeria is your home, then I refer you to that phrase that says, east or west, home is best. Yes? So, Peter Obi, there's no other way for me to say you need to be obedient. It's as simple as just listen to the man. His videos are all everywhere. You know, the virality of his videos are, I think, is the most trending videos on earth today, Peter Obi's videos, you know. So
Yes.
they are everywhere. Find his videos, listen to him. If you think he's talking rubbish, that's fair. We don't mind. Peter Obi is not desperate to be president of Nigeria. Peter Obi is coming to work for Nigeria. And he knows the work is huge. He says this all the time. He says the work to rebuild Nigeria is huge.
It's a huge
It
one.
is not a cassava kind of work. It is work. It is not a job that he will come and sell Nigerian parastatals. No. And he knows that the job is not going to be done overnight. He may just start us on a trajectory to goodness, to better governance, you know, to to no poverty in the society, to zero hunger, to good health and well-being, to quality education, to gender inequality, to clean water and sanitation. So many things that he is bringing on board. So if you want all these good things for our land, just be obedient.
Thank you. That we cannot think of a better way to say thank you, Olorogun Theodore. It's been a wonderful time. It's a privilege to actually speak with obedient. It's like Peter is recruiting the best, and I'm proud of you. I will not let you go because you are from Delta State.
Yes.
And I'm going to just say, what do you have to say about the governorship race in Delta? I know that is not your remit, but again, it's all part of the good governance we are looking for. Where are we going in Delta State?
We have a gubernatorial candidate in Delta State.
Okay.
Dickin Kempela is a Labour Party gubernatorial candidate. Okay. Dickin Kempela is a formidable guy, and he will make a very good governor, a governor who knows what to do, you know, to bring the state out of the quagmire the state is in, you know. Dickin Kempela, I know he's saying, you know, he has three fork agenda: righteousness, harmony, and harmonization. You know, did I say harmonization earlier?
Harmony, yeah, you say harmony, harmonization.
Sorry, he has righteousness, harmonization, and prosperity. I beg your pardon. Yes. So he knows what to do in a righteous society. In a righteous society, you don't hurt your brother. You don't take bribe. You know, you don't convert your neighbor's property.
It's true.
Yeah. So he knows about what to do to bring Delta State to be a righteous a state. He also knows what to do to harmonize Deltans. Together, we will be productive and we move from consumption to production. Yes? And he
Yes.
also, on top of all of this, we become prosperous as a state. And every Delta will be proud of that state when King Kempela becomes the next governor of Delta State. You know?
Wow. All
Yes.
right. I believe you because you convinced me tonight. Anyway, I was almost obedient. I think you made me fully obedient tonight. But I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to say to you that on Sunday, I'll have you back here. You'll be meeting face to face with the coordinators of the other three political parties to have a kind of debate. You understand? So that I call it a debate, but it's an opportunity to ask yourself questions and say, okay, if you say this, why is this? So that we can put, it's not there to listen to you alone. It's better to listen to all of you and you have this cross questioning. I won't call it even a debate, just a cross question. So I'll be putting that on Sunday. I will be announcing that shortly and I'll be hosting those one individually. Then we'll bring everybody together. And it is very important. And I want to thank you very much for what you're doing, especially yes. Yes,
please help me ask Theodore, Olorogun Theodore.
Okay.
How can we team up I'm in Delta State now?
Okay.
How can we team up to make this dream a reality for Obi and us? Ask Theodore how me and him with others that are with me can team up to actually do the complete job.
Do this work. Okay, it's a good one. I think there should be a national coordinator, but I think
as head of the Secretariat of the National Coordinating Council of Obedient Movement, I can tell you that there are many support groups. First of all, we have the Labour Party, which I encourage all obedients to be members of. You know, Labour Party is going to be the #1 political party in Nigeria. So you might as well join now. You know, go on at it. Look, I said to my friend, you know, very close friend of mine, who was talking about, they're all the same. Labour Party, PDP, APC, all the same. I said, no, that's not the way to look at it. I said, let us look at it from this perspective. The first car. No, he said the original party was PDP, that all these parties came from PDP. I said, yes, I agree, but that's not the way to look at it. I said, the way to look at it is, we all are not driving the same first car that was made. Whatever the name was, we are all driving different vehicles today. Yes? We did not get stuck with the same first car that was made. There is Nissan, there is Mercedes, there is Toyota, there is BMW. You can drive anyone you like. And I'm asking you that the vehicle you need to drive in this dispensation is Labour Party. Yes?
Thank you.
It's going to be a top-range political party in Nigeria. You might as well be a member of it. And for you particularly, you can connect with us in the UK. We have so many groups. We have POSN, Peter Obi Support Network. Yes, I'm an executive there as well. You can connect with us. We are doing so many big things in Nigeria. We are connected with the grassroots, you know, sponsoring wards. So if you want to be if you want to be an executive in your ward, we are sending money to those wards for people to get, you know, the resources they need to win the votes for Peter Obi. So
thank you.
Find a group, you know, any group of your choice, and join. And when you join, they add you in WhatsApp. Before you know, we are all connecting. Yes, I will look out and send your number to the moderator, and we'll take it up from there.
Definitely. Thank you very much for that, Sonny, and thank you for this linkage. I'm going to be in between. Once, Sonny, if you give me a number, I'll pass you on to Theodore. Theodore will link you with the right group, and you do what is the needful. And provided we want to do this, what I'm going to say to our boss here tonight, thank you, Theodore, for joining us. I want to beg that whatever the outcome of the elections that we accept, we move, like you said, Nigeria was
Will
continue to be.
Yes.
And because it's the biggest black nation on earth. Those you and I that live in the UK, you know the importance of that.
Yes.
We are not many enough as black people. We're scattered. We don't want to be most disorganized. Nigeria is the biggest, and we maintain it so that the black race will have a place in the world. So on that note, I want to say, for those of you who want to have anything to say or to join the Labour Party, like Olorogun said, you can contact me and I'll put you straight across to him. He has advised us to be positive as well and to be hopeful. That's one thing I took from this show. And I want to thank Pastor Sonny for telling us how God has actually intervened into the affairs of Nigeria. But I don't know why he didn't want to give Buhari credit, because if Nigeria intervened, he recognized Buhari as somebody that had been fighting. Let's try him. He did everything. So God is doing it, and he's bringing out the right person for us. If it is true that God is looking at us, then maybe we should be hopeful. And wherever he puts us, it will be the right place. Let us not doubt God. All right?
Daddy Chris, it's not if God is looking at us. God is interested in multitudes.
Amen.
His children.
Yes.
Yes.
Agree.
God will single out a man to lead his children. You know, so God is always looking after us.
Oh, you said something too. I want to remind you. You said that Moses, which is what I love, the thing I want people to take home from this. Moses took it upon himself and say, "Hey, I want to take my people," and then God came in. So sometimes we wait for God to do the work when we're supposed to be doing it. You understand?
Absolutely.
Moses came out, and then God intervened. So Peter came out, and God
has intervened. Yes.
Exactly. So if nobody comes out, and I'm going to use this opportunity, that is a big word. Come out. God will intervene. God has a purpose for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. I agree. So thank you so much. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you. It's a wonder. It's a pleasure running to you. And here we are. And it's a relationship that will stay for a very long time. I can assure you on that.
Thank you very much.
And it's a privilege. In fact, this is what I see with the obedient. It's a privilege to have these intellectuals in one group. How can you defeat them? Sometimes I'm always afraid to host the obedient. You guys can run me to where I can know. Don't forget tonight, he talks about mediocrity down to meritocracy. Nigeria was, Nigeria is, and Nigeria will continue to be. So it's a pleasure having you on the show. God bless you, sir. God bless you.
SR TV. Innovative content.